Yo, what's up, guys? Day 3 on the account, got to level 41. So the main thing right now is just getting those levels in, getting these. Like, I have to get level 50, but just before level 50, I will save, like, I think 5 of those, because those 5 are the most important that you see over here on the screen. So from level 45 to 50, I won't be using any, and then I have all of that. And also at this point, I think the best is to make proper dungeon teams the moment you hit level 50. Trying to do that before level 50 is a little bit strange because it's harder to get the 169 combat speed that you need to have for the dungeons. So it's a little bit harder to do, so I'm just trying to get a lot of levels in. How have I been doing that? Well, mainly just leveling a lot of units that I will use in the future as well. As you can see here, a whole bunch of units that I can use in the future. Also, I did already make a good progress towards a Necro team. So for Necro is the thing that I'm going to be doing first. That's what I also mentioned in the previous video. Necro team is looking thus far. Well, I have all of the meta units except for Ikaru, but I replaced Ikaru with a Siren because it's technically a lot easier to run. Because Siren just kind of needs whatever runes, whereas Ikaru needs very specific runes, especially if you don't have the towers maxed out already. So Siren is a lot easier for this. I do also have everything 2-8 right now, which was relatively easy to do as well, because as mentioned in the previous video, you do get the 50% extra, and all of these dungeons are just super easy in the first place. So I will be showcasing how that works later on. Maybe I can already run it. I'm not 100% sure, didn't really try it. But thus far, I'm just trying to get a bunch more achievements in and just getting more levels in. At this point, you kind of might be like, okay, I want to start focusing on the dungeon, or where do I get my levels in? You level everything so fast because you have ×3 EXP. What else should I be leveling? Well, anything that's good for in the future, but what you can also just simply do is start clearing all of these scenarios. So that's the thing that I'm going to be doing next. Won't be doing this in this video, but we'll doing that off video. But there's a lot of decent rewards in here. There's a few Devilmons, few whatever, whatnot, a whole bunch of stuff in there. That definitely does help out a little bit. I did also already farm a decent amount of artifacts, and the artifact pile is just simply there to get some artifacts in on at least every unit, and that just helps you out a little bit in that sense. Then you might ask, like, okay, but I don't really know what units I should be leveling or how I should be leveling. Maybe you even run out of material to make 6 stars. To get more material for 6 stars, it is a good option to always buy these over here. You do have a shit ton of mana, so because you get a lot of mana early game, it's good to buy all of these as well, just to get a little bit of more material in. Wouldn't necessarily start refreshing this altogether, but every time it does refresh, it's nice to get all of those. Plus, the moment you get a lot of 3 stars, you can watch some old videos. There's definitely a bunch of videos out there that can kind of check, like, okay, which of the 3 stars are still useful. Most of the time, those are good 2As, such as the birds. But there's also a fair amount of 3 stars, which I would simply say is like, okay, you don't need that many of. So if you select it by amount, I had like at some point I had stackings of like 12 and that kind of stuff. Most of the time, you don't need that much of them. I would recommend to keep like about 5-ish of everything in case you do want to scale things up. But more than 5, you can just feed it in for, not for level ups, but you can feed them in for evolves as well, just to get a little bit more of evolves in. Otherwise, it might get a little bit hard to get like enough 6 stars in. And then units that are good are mostly like the 4 stars, unique 4 stars. I do have a 4-star tier list. You can maybe look at that, which of the units I do recommend and where I recommend them. And from there, you can kind of see like, okay, which units might be good to do that. And I also have a 2A tier list. I'll link both of them in the description down below. Those 2As can kind of give you an idea of like, okay, what kind of 2As should I focus on? And therefore also what units should you already be focusing on? Because the main thing is you just want to be putting in a lot of scenario farming until you hit a certain level, because you could go into dungeon farming of B10. It's maybe not the worst of ideas, but until you can actually farm a proper Abyss Heart, I wouldn't really go too much in dungeon farming. You might as well just do level ups in that case. Also, I do have a bunch of summons, which I did save for this video specific. Let's see if I can claim a little bit more from this one. And then we're going to do the summons, and then I'm actually going to try if I can already make that Necro team. So I did already finish all of these over here. Afterward, I started buying the ones over here just to get like the little bit of extra 2A potential in. Afterward, you just simply like slowly go through everything and buy everything. That's the main thing out of it. It's just not really too much of an order. You get a bunch of scrolls. These may be a little bit later. If you want to put those towards anything, you have the selection of what you want to use them on. I would recommend Will, Vio, Swift, Despair, and then the 5th probably, since you're an early game account, put them towards Rage. I think that's probably the most useful thing. Otherwise, you go on Revenge or anything like that. But Swift Will, Vio Despair is definitely what you want to go for. So let's claim that final one over there. And then let's see how much summons we have this time around. Last video, I didn't get too much of summons. This is also the last amount that I will have for these. So another 46. So let's just get going and let's see if we can get anything good. New rune, Black Hammer Smith. I do have the light one. I might use it for skeletons for the light one. Not that the light one's really that crazy. Okay, we have a Kyle. That's not bad. Kyle can be used for Dragon's team, but also for a Giant's team. So that's definitely not too bad, especially if I were to take away the Teshar, which I probably will do after the 30th. I'm not 100% sure who I will do it for. Kind of depends what other net 5s I pull. If I pull some units towards the dot team, such as like Hey Gang, Nora, Trix, what else? Lamila, those kind of units, I might take it for that. Good armor breaker over there, but I already do have the Galleon. But yeah, then I might take some of the dot units. That's definitely an option right there that is out there. Okay, lightning rate, once again, is kind of ass. This account hasn't been getting the craziest amount of luck for net 5s altogether. I have about 3 right now. I'm not sure if I showed the third one on the video as well. I have the Daphnis, and which one else? Oh, the Christina. I don't think I showed the Christina on last video. Okay, lightning rate, once again, not that crazy. What do we have? Windrobe. Okay, Windrobe was not bad. Windrobe was not bad. Could be used for 4-star siege and those kind of things, so that's definitely not too bad. Yeah, I did also pull a Christina, which I maybe did not show in the last video. Might be an okay-ish unit, but definitely does kind of need a Leo to be really good for Arena. So in that case, not too sure if that's going to be used. But if I just get that Leo, then it might already be good. So therefore, I could also use the Teshar, replace the Teshar for a Leo, and then have a good unit altogether in there. So definitely a few interesting units on the 4-stars, the Kyle and the Robo over here. That definitely will help out a little bit. We'll probably just place them in here because we'll guaranteed level them at some point. Let's see if we can get more net 5s on maybe these. Nope, Pirate Captain. Well, I do already have Galleon Max Skilled and a Gargoyle. Not gonna help us all together as well. Maybe there's one more hidden in here. Drunken Master on a light. I think that was also my Darien right there. This is definitely always good to get the 3-stars light and dark. And I got a lot of 3-stars light and dark from these summons. But okay, Asher right there. Exactly what I was saying. Like the 3-stars light and dark, I've been getting a lot of those. Maybe we can get a 4-star light and dark if we're not getting any net 5. Would be nice. T-Bunny. That's maybe the only lightning out there for this whole pile. It was 20 scrolls left. At least another lightning. Like net 5 rate's really bad. This one is actually really good. This is Loki for R5. Really, really good unit. And also Zinc. Okay, I'm kind of happy with this set. This set is pretty nice. Thorena did already have. If it didn't have, it would be nice. Also, I got both SF units in here. Like straight up the Gina and the Zinc. Most early game accounts, you're not going to be using Gina, but Zinc is definitely good the moment I want to go for SF for Steel Fortress. But the Hawaii is a really strong unit in R5 because it has attack buff on 2 skills, it has armor breaks, it has attack bar push, it just has a whole loaded kit in there. Okay, once again, no net 5. So net 5 rates on this account has been really kind of mediocre so far. To the point it's like, do I maybe want to reset this account altogether and retry it? Well, nope, not gonna do that because in the end you gotta deal with the cards you have, and that's also kind of the charm of Summon as well. Sometimes you don't really get the crazy units, but let's just see, maybe we'll get crazy units somewhere more down the line or anything like that. But then again, it's also just kind of showing like, okay, even if you don't get the craziest of units, because let's say I get like a crazy unit, I get a Cyril straight up, I get a Tiana straight up, I get all of those kind of good things, then it's of course a lot easier to get Guardian kind of ranks than it would be if you don't get that much. Sure, I already do have the Poseidon, which helps out a little bit, but it kind of depends what I can pair with the Poseidon to actually make it good. I might go for Gemini on the HOH next week, because Gemini plus Poseidon is a pretty good combo, but it kind of depends if I get any other strips, because I also already have the Galleon for the armor break, so it kind of depends what I have running in there. I also have the combination of those two potentially, but then again, it makes the Gemini maybe not as great as well. So definitely a few options out there. Definitely also did pick up a few new units, which I will be leveling because I will be using them somewhere down the line. Let's just say, wait, nope, not like that. Let's just exclude you, and we're going to exclude some of you. You already have, but I don't think I have it selected in the normal thing yet. I also have the Drunken Master right now. Asher I probably will be leveling at some point, so let's just get those out there, and then we can start leveling them slowly. But what I also do want to check is, can I already run Necro? So, of course, the Necro team, as mentioned, is going to be these. Not you, this one. Where is my Lightbird? Lightbird, where you at? Oh, right over there, missed it. Haha. And then, of course, the Abigail. So far, the sets are kind of bad. This thing is the only thing that's just on edge of the right speed. These two are simply too slow. I don't think I have proper sets right now that would make them fast enough. But the moment I get the 5 extra speed from the speed tower once I hit level 50, would make it good enough. So let's see if this would already be good enough for Abyss Heart stages in case I do already want to farm this. So that's going to be the big test on this. And turn order, of course, you prefer to have your Abigail move first, Rook second. I would say Siren third, and then a star, and then Shaman. In this case, I don't really have that luxury at all because, well, I just simply don't really have any runes. Also, the moment I get some R5 in, these runes will be highly upgraded, so it might actually be more interesting to focus a little bit more first on R5. So I should maybe be upping the units on R5 first. I did try a little bit of R5, but also R5, the moment you hit level 50, it's just so much easier. You get 5% attack, 5% HP, 5% defense, 5% in speed or something along those lines. It just makes everything so much easier. And also the speed tuning, let's say I do a really perfect speed tuning right now. Moment I hit level 50, might be a little bit messed up as well. So what I want to do right now is get a lot of those units in, try to get to, once I hit level 50, to then make the really good team. So that's probably going to be the next video, because so far I've been doing like 10 levels per day, but well, Abyss normal apparently is easy as hell already. Wow, okay. Let's see about Abyss hard, because Abyss 1 minute run. That's like low-key not even bad. That's legit not even bad. Next stage. So annoying that your team doesn't get saved from normal to hard, as if I want to do a complete different team over here, right? It's like, yeah, no, this time around, no. Like I use units in normal, I use units in like the B10. I completely want to flip the script and completely want to do it different. But yeah, let's see how this works out. So we do already... Wait, did we push back something, therefore that we outspeed? I guess so. Oh, no, wait, we only do get outsped by this thing. So we didn't land any armor breaks as of this case. I don't have any skill ups on the 2A units. It would help a little bit with Serum because she has a higher armor break rate on her S2. And I think that the cooldown of the Spectra, or not the Spectra, the Shaman goes down, which is a really big one too. So I will probably get duplicates of 2As for that reason. I think that is probably the easiest thing. And the first one I'll get duplicates of is definitely that Shaman, because that's the thing that I'm using the most. So yeah, and this turn order was really bad. No armor break happened and that kind of stuff. And if there was a Rogue in there, at least you had, or like a Rogue a little bit earlier, you had more chance for an armor break potentially. Okay, so in this case, we're definitely doing really slow. Those things got transferred over. We have to change that the other way around, of course. I also don't really have too much of violent runes on anything, but in the end, it seems that I think like it's really not optimized, but it seems like really doable already to farm this. Sure, you're not gonna have anything like super crazy of runs or anything, but I think this can fail. I can definitely see this fail, because you do see the HP of these units getting pretty low, but I would say the rotation at the start was really bad. So just a little bit of artifacts and hitting level 40 did already make it where this is doable to farm, and a minute and a half is not bad. That's really not bad. I'm actually, just for the sake of this video, I'm gonna let this run for a run of 30, because I was not really planning to run this at all yet, but I'm gonna let this run for a run of 30 and just see how far we get, because this is actually kind of interesting to see that a level 40 account that is currently sitting at, what is it, day 3, can already run Abyss Hearts. Like, these are the things that I've run so far. I didn't really go into Giants, I didn't go into Dragons. I just straight up went for Abyss Heart for Necro. And the main reason that I want to go Necro first is because every account does need a decent amount of Rage runes. Like, sure, you can do it on Fatal runes, but Rage runes in the end are simply better for a lot of these dungeons, especially if you go to into like these enemy max HP hitting kind of units. such as a Luna, such as a Shaman, such as like many of those kind of things. It definitely helps out a whole bit more to just simply do a lot more damage. Plus, it also makes your R5 a lot easier to run. Plus, you also need a good amount of will runes everywhere. And will runes you do need in R5, especially if the new R5 comes along and the R5 starts pushing you back the moment it goes for the jump. You do want to have more will runes in your teams altogether. Well, in general, I think a will set on every R5 unit in general is just simply better than not having it. Except when it's based next to a Freya, where you immediately get cleansed because of that. But then your Freya still needs will. So there's a lot of will rune potential that is really good. And sure, you could say like, oh, you get them from Elunia, but you're not going to do Elunia anytime soon until, oh, this thing just, by the sliver of health, I thought he was already on second life. If he was on second life already, we might have actually been clearing it over here. Okay, wait, how many is it? This looked like a really fast run altogether, man. That, like 1 minute, day 3, Necro. I used to be running Necro on my main account with pretty much the same team as you see over here. And if it was a bad run, it was 1 minute. That's absolutely insane. Wow, okay. This actually worked out so much better. Might you ask, like, where do you get all of these units and how are they looking at right now? Because we might as well just look at that real quick. Astar is max skilled. I used an event to max skill her. And you just get like 30 skill ups for her altogether, so just max skilled her. She only has 9, so I didn't take her from the one where you get a full skilled up unit. I actually took the Galleon for that. I think also Galleon has more skill ups altogether, so it's more worth on Galleon. Yeah, he just straight up has like 3 more, so it's more worth on that. But yeah, I took the other like 30 skill ups that you have from there, so not the insta select max level one, but the other one. And then for runes, she just has like one of the sets that you get for free. We go to the next one. We have Abigail. Abigail is skilled up for the S2. I also once again used that event where you have 30, but I used it just to the point where just the S2 is skilled up, because the S2 has high value for skill ups, because that's where you lower the cooldown and you have extra chance for armor breaking. Skill 3, some people might say it's like, oh, you shouldn't awaken her. She never uses S3 unless there's something to strip. So she never uses S3, so it's not an issue. But if there go skill ups in there, it's kind of wasted. Skill 1, a little bit skill ups is not that bad, but it's not really needed. And then I threw some whatever vampire set with revenge on it that you got for free. Artifacts wise, once again, I farmed a little bit of artifacts and you just got whatever. We have the Rogue, no skill ups on the S1 and S2, of course. I think that your S1 skill up would be nice. Yeah, you have a high chance of armor breaking, which definitely helps out. The other stuff you don't really care too much about. Rune-wise, also once again, a set, 0 grinds on it. And artifacts, bunch of random stuff as well. You do want to add a little bit more tankiness to him because he doesn't have that much tanky. Also for the Astar, I went into artifacts for tanky artifacts. Maybe I should actually go for defense. Yeah, I should go for 1 defense artifact. 1 HP artifact. This one does actually help out. This one somewhat also helps out. But let's see if we maybe have a random damage on dark. We have an 8 damage on dark. Yeah, that's also like, if you randomly have a few of those, this is straight up like 8% damage increase. And since I'm mainly farming Necro, I might as well just check that for all of them. You are actually the same element. You have attack in there. Do we have a higher one? Damage on dark? No, not obtained. We're going to go by this. Fire damage on dark. Even if it goes from HP to, or from attack to HP, it will be a nice upgrade right there. Let's check out the next. We have you. What do we have over here? More than enough stats for anything altogether. You already have a 8 damage on dark. Like, those kind of things just really help out a lot. We already have damage on dark on you as well. Perfect. And then the final unit, you're not that much of a damage dealer altogether. But if we have damage on dark, you also go damage on dark. So right now, we pretty much just added like 8% damage on the whole team by just having those stupid few artifacts in. That's how strong artifacts is. Imagine having actual good artifacts where it's like 18% or something like that, right? So yeah, these are the units. This one, I think this is also a set that I got for free by just, not by necessarily the ones where you claim all of the runes, like where you have the whole pile of runes, but more of like, oh, you cleared dragons, so you get a bunch of runes over there, and there's like a few other things in there. And then artifact-wise, also just once again, absolutely whatever. This thing also no damage stat. Would be nice if it had more accuracy, because you need 35 accuracy for landing everything. Do you have that? Yeah, you actually have 35 accuracy. You have no accuracy. Well, then this point doesn't really help as well. So yeah, that's for all of the runes right now so far. Let's see how the first few runs did do. So we are looking at a 46-second run. That is really good. I think we might be averaging 1 minute already. So yeah, I'm just gonna let it run for the whole set of 30. And let's just see how that goes. So by the power of editing, for me, it's going to take a little bit of time. But for you, it's going to be like... Okay, so the run of 30 just finished. It never failed, which is incredible in the first place. And it's pretty fast. Like, I think this is faster than some of the other people are running this. And that's just absolutely insane. And once again, well, I could do a cell selection. For people that ask for cell selection, there's probably one in the recommendation tab that is more for, like, newbie-ish friendly. But I did notice that it's selling a bunch of runes as well, where I would be like, why the hell would it sell this? So if you take someone else's cell selection, definitely double check things, because if your cell selection is selling something like this, or selling something like this in the early game, you might as well just keep all of your runes in the first place. So that's just my recommendation. Be careful with the cell selection of copying it of someone else. Because the one that I just copied is really bad. So I probably have to make one for myself at some point. But yeah, as I said before, all of these runes, well, they're not even full plus 15. None of them have grinds. There's pretty much scallops missing on everything except for the Astar. This one does actually get that cooldown decrease over here. I am not maxed yet on these glory towers, which I did actually state in my previous video, or even at the start of the current video, I think, where I was like, oh, I just wait until these before I actually start doing, like, getting all of the, or starting to just simply farm in the first place, because in the end, you're first upgrading everything and then you're farming. I don't even need to do R5 to start farming Necro right now, because this already is insane. I'm already farming it fast enough where I could simply say, it's like, okay, I'm just gonna put all of my crystals that I have right now into Necro, and then afterwards I do a bunch of R5, and those R5 grinds will go to the best runes that I have at that moment, and then I can make a transition towards something else. And I probably go for something along the lines of that, and just like spamming a whole bunch of Necro right now until I'm pretty much level 100, and then just see from there. That's how insane this route is. So actually, this is a route that I would recommend to a lot of people. Simply get that Necro team that I just showed. You don't need the Ikaru. I would say that the Siren is even better for it. Sure, you could go for an Ikaru instead of... Wait, what is the team that I'm using where I'm using both? No, actually, I'm using this team altogether on my main as well, I think. Or is there something else? Not 100% sure. Yeah, maybe I replace you or something. I don't remember. Yeah, I think I replaced you for an Ikaru. That is technically faster, but with Shaman, it's a lot safer, because this will draw the aggro from all of the dark units. It barely gets any damage from all of the dark units. So it's just super, super easy. So once again, like, get this team. I think it is the new meta for new accounts, because you can get your Rage runes in here, a bunch of Nemesis runes, your Will runes that you need. And from here, you can easily transition into getting good runes for dragons, for giants, for your R5. And the best thing is, I don't even have to go into R5 to get few of those runes in. Plus, I don't even need the Teshar. So the Teshar for this, I can easily get good enough runes where I can start doing giants without the Teshar on a pretty fast team, on either a Julie Lucian kind of team, or a Mephisto kind of team, or a Kamamir kind of team. There's a lot of options out there that I could work towards. Whereas Teshar becomes not a must, and therefore you can trade in your Teshar for something that's actually useful in late game PvP, or something that you want to transition toward. Let's say a Tiana, or let's say a Leo, or let's say anything like that. This is already the point where I would say, sure, Teshar's nice, but day 3, I already say, I'm not in a need for Teshar because I'm farming Necro, and it's incredibly good. So hope you do enjoy this video. Share it with your friends that are struggling in the early game, not knowing really what to go for. And this is just absolutely insane. I did not expect it to be this good. The moment I thought about, like, okay, I'm going to go Necro, I think it will be nice. I did not expect it to be this good, because in the end, this just runs smooth as fuck. It's not going to fail any time. And from here, it's only going to get better. I'm going to get better artifacts. I'm going to get better runes. I'm just going to get, like, the horizontal progression in just getting all of the towers in. It's only going to get better from here. So guys, hope you enjoyed this video. Definitely share it to your friends that are struggling on the early game or do not really know how to farm any Abyss dungeon. It is as easy as this. Just get all of these units in there. You have a lot of events right now to get those in. And just make it work. It's so easy. Well, guys, thanks a lot for watching. See you as always in the next one. And please subscribe. I highly appreciate that. Still want to get to that 100K at some point. And maybe with a bit of time, we might get there. Well, see you as always in the next one. Thanks for watching. If you would like to see more guides, join the Discord and check out the content tab for the guide video archive, which contains all of the guides that you might need. Hope to see you there.